So right on your doorstep this weekend, you've got a major sporting event. I say sport because I think you could go to this even if you're not a motorsports fan because of the atmosphere, the noise, the smells, the sounds, the things you'd see. I mean, this is a huge event. It's the British Superbikes and it's on our doorstep. It's at Cadwell Park this weekend. And Alex Rhodes, our reporter, is there with the early arrivals, and there's quite a few, Alex.
Hello, Scott. Yeah, there are. I mean, they're sold out for camping passes, and the gates have now opened, so people, members of the public, just with their day passes coming for the weekend, are coming in now and starting to get busy. I'm with the busiest man, possibly, in Cadwell Park, Paul Woodford, the circuit manager here. How's it going so far?
Good. As you say, it's pretty busy. We are sold out, 3,500 people in the campsites over the weekend, and as you say, we've opened the gates for practice day today, so we're racing in just under an hour.
Just under an hour it gets underway. So for those, you know, we've been talking about people there's probably people in the county who live very close by and who've never been or even watch it on TV. Just explain, what is the appeal of British Superbikes? What would you say to someone? How would you convince them to come down?
The easiest way of putting it is for anyone who's into touring cars or Formula 1 or something like that, this is the cream of the crop in the UK when it comes to bike racing. So we've got all the stars here, and the show that they put on, the theatre that comes with the British Superbike Championship is incredible. And for it to come to Cadwell Park and for us to turn this parkland setting into a mecca for, I don't know, tens of thousands of people over a weekend from, you know, something that normally caters for a few thousand is incredible. And it's a spectacle, it's the sight and the sound, and of course it's the famous mountain.
Yes, well, that's just explain that. That's part of the track itself, isn't it?
Very unusually, we have a jump here at Cadwell Park, which motorbike riders, we've had a few MotoGP and World Superbike riders who haven't done it before. Scott Redding being one of them, who's quite a big name this year, who's ruffled a lot of feathers, and he's doing very well in the championship. But they're not used to jumping these kind of bikes. Yep. So you've got Josh Brooks, who's the undisputed king of the mountain, and our local hero Peter Hickman, who was P5 in the test last night, and top 11 split by a second, I think. So it's all looking very good for a big show. But the mountain is just, imagine 3 or 4 bikes wide in the air, maybe between 4 and 8 feet high in the air alongside each other, with the crowd underneath the bikes, and it's just the camera flashes and the noise, and it's a bit of a bowl, a bit of an amphitheatre. So when you're down on the start, which in this position I'm very lucky I get to do, you just feel this atmosphere, and the atmosphere is built largely from this local following for Superbikes, which has been here for decades.
Well, we've been talking about the atmosphere all morning because it feels like a festival. It feels like the first day of Glastonbury here at the moment, and it's, you know, there's people, big grins on their faces, getting up from their tents, getting ready for a big weekend.
It's called Party in the Park, and it is the biggest round of the British Superbike Championship, and that's saying something because, as I say, this is the top bike racing championship in the UK, and the party goes on all weekend. We've got live music on Friday, Saturday night. We've got family entertainment all the way through each day. Everything from quad bikes to hook a duck, and it's just a real family spectacular. And I love the atmosphere here. The work in the build-up this week, my team has put in a huge amount of hours. There's a lot goes into making the event work, and now we're here. We'd like to think we can just slow down that pace a little bit and just enjoy that atmosphere.
I was asking you earlier what time you got up in the morning. It was about 5 o'clock you were down at the site?
Yeah, just after 5 I was down here, and yesterday the same, getting the campsites ready. So I do the early shift, and then we've got Mick Brown, our assistant manager, who comes in a bit later, and he's here till when the bands finish at early hours of the morning. So we're sort of texting when we're not actually at the circuit ourselves, and he sort of kicks me out as soon as he can during the day to let me get a good night's sleep. So it's a real round-the-clock exercise for all of us, but we love it.
And you mentioned Pete Hickman. He's on a bit of a hot streak at the moment. He's a bit of a favourite for the weekend.
Well, he's probably the most famous bike rider in the world right now, isn't he? We've got I don't know if anyone's seen it on Twitter. I put it on my Instagram and Twitter earlier in the week, but the King of the Mountain Monster Energy Trophy is incredible. It's the best trophy I've ever seen. In fact, I want it. It's extremely heavy. But Peter has been King of the Mountain before. He's, to the local fans, the undisputed King of the Mountain, of course, Mr. Hickman. And we've got his first Superbike winning helmet from 2014 in reception on display. And I took a picture of it this morning with the Monster Energy Trophy, which we've got in our safe. And I sent it to Peter on text, and I put, no pressure, mate, but the colours go quite nicely with your helmet.
So he'll be looking to add to his trophy cabinet. I got to have a look at this thing if it's as fabulous as you say. I'm going to let you get off now because, you know, people have been coming up to you all the way through, buzzing your radio, trying to get your attention because you've got a lot to do before it all kicks off in less than an hour.
Enjoy the show.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.